Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success, while others constantly struggle? The answer, surprisingly, isn't always about talent, education, or even luck. It often comes down to something far more personal and profound: our self-image. Imagine your self-image as the lens through which you view the world, a filter that shapes your perceptions, beliefs, and attitudes. It's like a mental blueprint that dictates how you see yourself, and in turn influences all aspects of your life. From the career you pursue to the relationships you build, your self-image plays an integral role. Now consider a skyscraper. Before it became a towering structure, it started as an idea, a vision in an architect's mind. Similarly, our lives are structures built on the blueprint of our self-image. If we see ourselves as confident, capable, and deserving, we naturally gravitate towards opportunities that reflect this image. Conversely, if we view ourselves as unworthy or incapable, we may inadvertently create a life that mirrors these beliefs. This brings us to the insightful work of Bob Proctor, a renowned personal development coach. He suggests that changing our self-image is the key to altering our life's trajectory. According to Proctor, by reshaping our internal blueprint, we can transform our external world. Our self-image is not set in stone. It's malleable, adjustable, and most importantly, within our control. However, changing our self-image is not about superficial adjustments or temporary fixes. It requires a deep, internal shift, a reprogramming of our subconscious mind. But how do we accomplish this? Proctor proposes a method, a systematic approach to redefine our self-image and, ultimately, our life. Understanding and changing our self-image, as proposed by Bob Proctor, can be a game changer. Let's dive into his method. As we journey into this transformative process, remember that each step is a building block, a step closer to constructing the life you've always envisioned. So who is Bob Proctor, and what's this method about, you might ask? Well, Bob Proctor is a renowned self-help guru who has spent over half a century helping individuals reshape their self-image. Having worked with countless people from various walks of life, Bob has devised a powerful technique that enables individuals to alter their self-perception positively. His method, often hailed as revolutionary, is fundamentally about changing the mental image one has of oneself. It's about replacing negative, self-defeating thoughts with positive, empowering ones. Bob Proctor's approach is not just about thinking positively. It's about reprogramming your subconscious mind, and in doing so, transforming your life. Bob's philosophy is simple yet profound. Change your self-image, and you change your life. He believes that by altering our perception of ourselves, we can overcome limitations, unleash our potential, and achieve our dreams. Now that we know who Bob is, let's unpack his method. The first step towards change, according to Bob Proctor, is awareness. And what does this mean? It's about recognizing and acknowledging the current image we have of ourselves. It's about understanding how this self-image is influencing our daily lives, our decisions, our interactions, and ultimately, our happiness and success. Think of it like a mirror. When we look into a mirror, we see a reflection of ourselves. This reflection, however, is not just physical. It's a reflection of our thoughts, our beliefs, our attitudes, and our self-perceptions. Our self-image is this reflection. It's how we see ourselves, and it's how we perceive others to see us. Now here's where the awareness comes in. It's about looking into that mirror and really seeing ourselves. It's about recognizing the negative self-perceptions that may be holding us back. Maybe we see ourselves as not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. These negative self-perceptions, whether we realize it or not, can limit us. They can prevent us from reaching our full potential. They can stop us from achieving our goals and dreams. But it's not just about recognizing these negative self-perceptions. It's also about acknowledging the positive ones. Maybe we see ourselves as kind, as hardworking, as resilient. These positive self-perceptions can empower us. They can motivate us. They can drive us to strive for more and to be better. So why is awareness so important? Because it's the first step to change. It's the starting point. Without awareness, we can't identify what needs to change. We can't pinpoint the negative self-perceptions that are holding us back. And we can't acknowledge the positive ones that can propel us forward. But here's the thing. Awareness is just the beginning. It's the foundation upon which we can start to build a better self-image. It's the first step, but it's certainly not the last. With awareness, we can identify what needs to change, but awareness alone is not enough. Once we're aware of our self-image, the next step is to understand it. This is the heart of Bob Proctor's method, the second step in our journey towards a transformed self-image. Understanding in this context is not just about knowing that our self-image exists. It's about dissecting it, analyzing it, and truly comprehending where it comes from. It's about identifying the roots of our perceptions about ourselves, the seeds from which our self-image has sprouted. This process requires introspection, a deep dive into our past experiences and the influences that have shaped us. Imagine your self-image as a complex puzzle made up of numerous pieces. Each piece represents a part of your life, your upbringing, your successes, your failures, your relationships. They all come together to form a picture. But what happens when we start to look closely at each piece? We might discover that some pieces are distorted by negative experiences or limiting beliefs. Perhaps a difficult childhood has left us feeling unworthy, or maybe a past failure has convinced us we're not capable of success. These distorted pieces affect the overall image, skewing our perception of ourselves. But understanding is the tool that allows us to examine these pieces, to see how they've been twisted and contorted by our experiences. It helps us to recognize that these distortions are not truths, but merely reflections of past events. They are not fixed, but can be reshaped. Understanding also helps us to appreciate the positive pieces of our puzzle. The accomplishments we've achieved, the love we've shared, the strength we've shown in the face of adversity. These pieces remind us of our worth, our capabilities, our potential. By understanding our self-image, we gain the ability to separate our true selves from the distorted reflections of our past. We can begin to see that our self-image is not a fixed entity, but a malleable construct that can be reshaped and reformed. Understanding gives us the knowledge we need to make changes. But what's next? Tune in to find out how we can use this understanding to visualize a new, empowering self-image. After understanding our self-image, we move on to visualization. This is the third step in Bob Proctor's method for reshaping our self-image. Visualization is the art of creating vivid mental pictures of what we want to be, do, or have in our lives. It's like a rehearsal in our mind's eye, a way of preparing ourselves for the reality we want to create. In the context of self-image, visualization plays a crucial role. It allows us to see ourselves not as we currently are, but as we wish to be. We create a new, positive self-image in our mind and hold on to it. This new self-image is not an illusion or a daydream. It's a blueprint, a plan of the person we aspire to become. You might ask, how do I visualize effectively? Start with a clear picture of the person you want to be. It may help to write down the characteristics, behaviors, and attitudes you desire. Then close your eyes and imagine yourself with these traits. Picture yourself in situations where you're embodying this new self-image. Make the scenarios as detailed and vivid as possible. The more real it feels, the more effective the visualization will be. But visualization isn't just about seeing, it's about feeling too. Feel the joy, the pride, the confidence that comes with being this new version of yourself. Feel the satisfaction of achieving your goals, of becoming the person you want to be. These feelings will make your visualization more potent, more impactful. Remember, visualization is not a one-and-done exercise. It's a daily practice, a habit to cultivate. The more you visualize your new self-image, the more ingrained it becomes in your subconscious mind. The more it becomes a part of you. Visualization is an incredibly powerful tool in reshaping our self-image. It allows us to see the possibilities, to believe in our potential, and to create a clear path towards our desired self. But remember, visualization isn't magic. It requires commitment, consistency, and belief in the process. Visualization is powerful, but it needs to be fueled by emotion. The next step in Proctor's method is to add emotion. Now, why is emotion so crucial in this process? Well, Emotion is the fuel that drives our self-image into the core of our being. It's what makes our new self-image stick. Just think about it. Our strongest memories, those moments in life that we remember with vivid detail, are often tied to strong emotions, aren't they? That's because our brain has a very special relationship with emotion. When we experience strong emotions, our brain pays attention. It remembers. So when we're building a new self-image, we want to tap into that power. We want our brain to pay attention, to remember. And how do we do that? By generating strong, positive emotions that align with our new self-image. Let's illustrate this with an example. Suppose your new self-image is one of a confident public speaker. Now, you can't just visualize yourself delivering a speech flawlessly. You've got to feel it. You've got to experience the exhilaration, the satisfaction, the pride. Feel the warmth of the applause, the thrill of captivating an audience, the joy of expressing yourself freely. In other words, you've got to emotionally connect with your new self-image. And the more intense these emotions are, the more powerful the impact will be. But how do we generate these emotions? Well, it's not as difficult as it might sound. You can start by recalling a time when you felt the emotion you want to evoke. Remember the details, relive the experience, and let the feeling wash over you. Then, attach this feeling to your new self-image. Another way is through emotional amplification. Think of a situation that would make you feel the emotion intensely. For instance, imagine the roar of a standing ovation after your speech or the beaming smiles of your loved ones as they congratulate you. And remember, it's not just about feeling good. It's about feeling in alignment with your new self-image. Emotion breathes life into our new self-image. But there's one more step to cement the change. So, let's take a look at that next step, shall we? The final step in Proctor's method is repetition. The beauty of repetition is that it transforms the unfamiliar into the familiar. It's like learning to play a new song on a musical instrument. At first, you may fumble over the notes, but with consistent practice, your fingers begin to move effortlessly over the keys, and the once unfamiliar melody becomes second nature. Similarly, the process of reshaping your self-image is not a one-time event. It requires dedicated practice and repetition. As you repeatedly engage in the process of visualization and emotion, you begin to internalize your new self-image. Just imagine your mind as a piece of clay. Each time you engage in visualization and pair it with emotion, you're molding that clay. You're creating the shape of the person you want to become. And each time you repeat this process, you're reinforcing that shape. You're solidifying your new self-image. Think of repetition as the chisel that sculpts your new identity. With each stroke, it chips away at the old, limiting beliefs that have held you back. And with each stroke, it carves out the new, empowering beliefs that will propel you forward. But here's the catch. Repetition is not about mindlessly repeating the process. It's about consciously engaging with it. It's about truly feeling the emotions that come with your new self-image. It's about vividly visualizing your new self in your mind's eye. And as you continue this process, something magical begins to happen. Your new self-image starts to feel real. It starts to feel familiar. It starts to feel like you. This is the power of repetition. It turns the once abstract concept of your new self-image into a concrete reality. It transforms your new self-image from a mere possibility into a living, breathing reality. With repetition, our new self-image becomes our default, and that's when real change happens. So, to recap, Bob Proctor's method involves 5 key steps. These steps are not just random practices, but a well-structured approach that gives us a clear path to transform our self-image and, in turn, our lives. Firstly, we have awareness. This is the starting point of our journey. It's about recognizing our current self-image and understanding that it's within our power to change it. It's about taking the first step out of the shadows of self-doubt and stepping into the light of self-awareness. Next, we move on to understanding. This is where we delve into the reasons behind our existing self-image. We explore our past experiences, our beliefs, and our values. We try to understand why we see ourselves the way we do. This understanding is crucial as it allows us to take control of our self-perception. Then comes visualization. This step encourages us to create a vivid mental image of our desired self. We imagine ourselves as we want to be, not as we currently are. This mental picture serves as a beacon, guiding us towards our goal. The fourth step is emotion. Here we attach feelings to our visualization. We don't just see our ideal self, we feel what it would be like to be that person. This emotional connection makes the transformation process more real and more achievable. Last, but certainly not least, we have repetition. This final step underscores the importance of consistency. It reminds us that change does not happen overnight. We need to repeat these steps again and again to slowly but surely alter our self-image. These 5 steps form the backbone of Bob Proctor's method. They provide a clear and effective way to change how we see ourselves. But remember, this is not a one-time process, it's a journey that requires commitment and patience. Remember, changing your self-image isn't an overnight process. But with Proctor's method, you have a clear roadmap to follow. Start today and watch your life transform.